Hey, this is Jeff Heggie of Jeff Heggie Coaching, and I'm excited today to have Brent Coppieters with me. Now, Brent and I go way back to a little southern Alberta town, and it's interesting. I actually just looked it up. I had heard, I knew after he served a mission for our church that he had moved back to Idaho, and over the years, I kind of heard a little bit of what he was doing, and I just looked it up. It was in November of 2018. I got my first copy of Expert Secrets, and I looked in the front, and yeah, he was in the acknowledgments, and I sent him a message. And then it was May of 2020. I sent him another message, said, "Hey, I just built my first funnel." And so I've heard a lot of what he's been doing and kind of behind the scenes sort of way, but I'm excited today to be able to actually sit down and have a conversation and hear more about your story. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you having me here, and no, super excited to chat with you. You've done a lot of great stuff, and it's been cool to kind of see these kids, from small town Canada, and the opportunities that we've been afforded, and super grateful for that. So, yeah, like I said, grew up in Raymond, and I think the cool thing about Raymond is, it's a town that gets surrounded by a lot of really good people, and instilled in a lot of us our work ethic. And I think I attribute a lot of success that I've had, and again, looking at other people who've just really done some cool stuff, and it's probably based on that work ethic that was driven home as a kid. But got an opportunity to serve an Lds Mission here in the Idaho Boise Mission, and was here for a couple of years. Just really loved this Boise area. I had never really spent time here growing up at all. When we travel to Utah to see friends, but kind of just went through I kind of call it the armpit of Idaho a little bit. It's just like Eastern Idaho is not like the Boise area at all, and so that's the only part of Idaho I'd really seen, Rexburg or Pocatello. And anyway, got a chance to serve in the Idaho Boise Mission, and just met some really great good people. And the weather was warmer, more temperate over here in this side of the state, and just to kind of see really cool. Boise was a really cool town. And we fast forward to, I ended up meeting my wife, and we got married in Canada, lived there for about a year, and then realized, hey, let's get back to Idaho. And so I applied and got to Boise State University, and had little immigration issues initially coming down. And I mean, even to the point that I had applied for a permanent residency because of my wife, but I had applied in Canada, but I also applied for a student visa so I could get down to school. And little did I know, you can't come into the U.S. under two different visas. I'd already applied for a permanent residency, and anyway, so it was a mess, and it was frustrating. It got my dad was there. We had a trailer full of stuff to move into an apartment in Boise, and got turned around to the border. And anyway, it was just kind of a cluster there for a little while, but. 6 months later, got to get down here, started school, had a really good time at university. I majored in communications, and through that process, just my wife and I were working, just kind of doing little odds and ends jobs while we were going to school. And I met this actually through church. I met my business partner now, Russell Brunson, and he was just kind of doing little things, kind of tinkering on the internet, and had a little software he was selling at the time. And again, little did I know, I had no idea what the type of volume he was doing. I was talking to a mutual friend of ours at the time, and he knew a little bit more about Russell's business. He was kind of doing some work with Russell, and he kind of had shared with me some of the stuff, some of the volume that Russell was doing, and like it blew my mind. I mean, here I am, I think I was a junior at Boise State. Russell was a senior at Boise State. And I mean, I think he was doing, $250,000 like as a senior in college. And like, I was like, that's more money than my parents have made combined, their whole life. Like, this is like, I literally, when I found that out, I couldn't sleep. I was just blown away at how has he done this? How has he figured this out? Like, is this legal? What is he doing? And ended up, we invited he and his wife over for dinner on a Sunday. I'm like, man, I just got to pick your brain a little bit. And just really developed a really good friendship. And anyways, it was a little bit after that, we were talking a little bit more. He's like, man, you should just come start work with me. And we're doing some really cool stuff. And so I was like, yeah, I was just finishing my undergrad at Boise State. And so I started working with Russell. It was 2006. And I just came on board. I didn't know what I was doing. I started as an affiliate relationship manager. So I was part of my job was reaching out to folks in our space and asking them to help support our products and help sell our products. And so that's
how many
what I was
people
doing.
on staff at that time?
No, there was probably like maybe 8 or 10 people. It was just little, and we were just kind of Russell was creating offers, and we're just throwing things against the wall, see what would stick, and a lot of information products, coaching products at that time. And I actually applied for grad school. I was going to be a marriage and family therapist. So I actually applied and got into Idaho State University. They had a campus here in the Boise area. So that was the plan. I got in and started that program. Same time I was working with Russell. And I remember distinctly, I went on a business trip with Russell. He was speaking at an event called Big Seminar with Armin Morin. And we were in Atlanta. And Russell got on stage and he spoke for about 60 minutes. And at the end of his presentation, he had an offer of a coaching program he sold to show people kind of what he was doing, how he was generating his income as on the internet. And I think he sold he made like $90,000 at that pitch. And I was like, again, one of those like moments you just kind of just blows your mind. We had people run to the back of the room and asking for an order form and filling it out, and we're handing those order forms out as fast as we can and collecting them. And on the flight back, I remember just talking to Russell. I'm like, man, it's just insane. It's just insane what you're doing. And the cool thing about it is he's helping people, right? Like people were jumping in there. They were implementing some things he was teaching. They were building their own entrepreneurial businesses and having success. And at that time, he was putting some pressure on me, man. You just, put that school thing on hold and just come. Let's just focus on this and let's build something really cool. And I came home and I was talking to my wife about it, and I recognized the opportunity to be able to leverage the internet. The fact that you can be in one place, but the internet it's around the world. And again, I think at that time it's post the .com bust, and there's a lot of people still were just trying to get into it and dipping their toes in the internet and how they can generate income from using the internet. E-commerce wasn't quite what it was, definitely what it's like today, but again, it was kind of the Wild West a little bit there. And anyways, I put my master's, I did a year of my master's and I put that on hold and haven't looked back since then. Again, that was about 2007, 2008 when I was finished with that.
That's awesome. Now you'd mentioned Russell. I don't know if you mentioned the name. It's Clickfunnels is what we're talking about here. But yeah. And so anyone that knows Russell or knows Clickfunnels, you hear everything from the potato guns all the way up to where they are now. But there was a period where things weren't going well. And I know you were part of the team at that time. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. That's a tough part of the story. It's you definitely you like to look for the positives and the peaks, but there's definitely those valleys. And we had hit I think it was about 2008, roughly around 2008, when we were again doing some different coaching, consulting, and a lot of the merchant processing stuff. There was, I think, some government regulation kind of kicked in, and a lot of the merchant processing, so the ability to be able to charge credit cards and whatnot, really came under scrutiny. FTC was, and unfortunately, there's again part of that Wild West. There's a lot of garbage out there too, and people who were not doing things honestly and very, very well. And so it kind of that whole industry got really scrutinized, and unfortunately, we kind of ran into that. We were kind of classified in that same type of group, And so 2008, I remember working in the office in Boise, and all of a sudden one of our developers was like, hey, like payments, payments aren't processing. And all of a sudden we started getting customer support issues and questions, and people saying, hey, I'm trying to purchase this thing, it's not going through. And we reached out to our payment processor at the time, and they said, sorry, we had to freeze your account. And anyways, I mean, he tells a story. I mean, we were jumping on phone calls trying to find out what and why and how and what can we do to reverse that. And they're like, sorry, we can't do anything right now. And so again, not only could we not process payments, we had a large floor of sales teams. So at that time we had, again, we had these kind of free DVDs that had just some general information, marketing information that people could essentially sign up for free. And part of the model was when they signed up for those free DVDs, and that would be a lead that our sales team would call and try to upsell them into a higher end coaching program. And, again, we had like 60 guys on the sales floor that was just busy cranking on calls. We had a coaching team who was doing fulfillment on that, and it just stopped. Like we couldn't take any more payments. We couldn't process payments. And also guys were just bailing left and right. Like it was crazy. I mean, it was a dark time. We came back and we weren't sure what we were going to do. Again, some people, had to leave and go do something else. Knowing Russell so well and knowing that, what we'd grown to at that point, I just had this like deep faith that we'll figure it out. And it was hard. It was right before Christmas, and Russell, he tells a story about him being at home and just, having to have, just sick, knowing it's right before Christmas and we can't process payments. Like I can't approve paychecks for people. And so, unfortunately, a lot of people had to do something different. And I talked to my wife, and we just, I just came to Russell and say, hey, dude, like, we'll figure it out. Like, I'm here, let's figure this out. And a few other people who were still there. And, but I remember sitting in the bankruptcy attorney office with Russell thinking like, we had this big space, this office space that, it was like, I think it was like $20,000-$25,000 a month. It was like our rental on that. And we couldn't pay that. We didn't have the money to pay that. And so, Russell went and had a meeting with the property owner where we were at and just said, hey, I'm sorry, we can't make this work. And, with the attorney with him at his side, and the attorney helped the case. And thankfully those guys kind of let us just walk away. But we had, again, I was like on the phone. I'm just trying to just get rid of stuff, office supply stuff, just getting rid of it because we needed to get out of that space. But it was, that was a super, super hard time. My wife and I, we ended up taking about a 50% pay cut just to we just knew that, man, there was a hiccup right now, but we can get back on our feet. We just keep going and keep working. And thankfully we did.
Yeah. And people look at a company like Clickfunnels and just see all the greatness and all the great things they've done and how they've grown. But there are those stories too that you can learn a lot from. Just thinking as you're talking about that, for our listeners, I'm just making the assumption that everyone knows Russell Brunson, everyone knows Clickfunnels and stuff. Share with us what Clickfunnels does now and what your role right now is too.
Yeah. Thanks. So Clickfunnels was created, we're a software, we're a sales funnel building software. Really simply, people can use us as a landing page software right now. What makes us different is the sales funnel, which I feel like we've really crafted, meaning, people come to a website, we kind of describe sometimes just basic websites as brochure websites. People show up there, they click around about us, and that's what they do, or they order one thing. Well, a sales funnel, if you do it correctly, it's several different landing pages you come to, and depending on the action someone takes, you can, again, upsell them to the next offer. We have a one-click upsell. So essentially you sign up for a software, and you're going to see some different offers that complement that initial offer. Or if you say, hey, I'm not really interested, then there's some downsell processes. But again, the cool thing about ClickFunnels is you can build it all inside our app. We have an easy drag drop editor that makes it really easy to be able to go in, so that you don't have to be a tech wizard to be able to use our software. But we built it out of our own necessities. We launched ClickFunnels the summer of 2014, about fall 2014, and we built it really for our own purposes. Just we were tired of having to pay web developers to go in and make adjustments, to upload a video or to change a date on a website. And so we built ClickFunnels, but Russell Brunson, had this vision, and Todd Dickerson, our other co-founder. The story of how Russell connected with Todd, again, one of those moments where you kind of feel like you've been led, whether you believe in God or whatnot. Russell, out of desperation, sent an email to his list asking if there's anybody who knew Ruby on Rails. And Todd Dickerson, who is a brilliant, awesome guy, great guy, responded to that email. And so anyway, Todd built ClickFunnels. He's a developer, just amazing developer, built ClickFunnels. Russell is obviously the marketing end behind ClickFunnels. So yeah, we launched about 2014. We've helped, we've got about 140,000 current users of ClickFunnels, our software. I've been fortunate to wear, as a small business, kind of wear a bunch of different hats growing up. Lately, I manage several of our teams. I help with business development. So I've got some sales aspects under my team. I've got our high-end coaching that I manage. I'm going to be working with our customer support as we continue to elevate that experience for our users. So but I've done HR, I've done operations, I've kind of worn many hats as we didn't know if it'd be successful. When we launched it, we're like, man, again, we launched it for ourselves, and pretty soon people are asking what we're doing and what we're using, and if they could use it too, and so we ended up creating it as a software as a service, and it's thankfully it's been doing pretty well.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I'll put in the show notes, I'll put links and stuff so everyone can see what it is. But just as my own example, at jeffheggie.com, any of the links you see in there are going to go through ClickFunnels. So with ClickFunnels, or with the business now, what is, because you've got the software, you've got the programs, you've got so many different aspects. Is the software the biggest part of your business?
It is. And, we continue to grow and iterate with what we're doing. But, we've added, some complementary things like coaching, as people are like, hey, that's cool. I got this software, but, man, I sure use help in growing it, just as you're in coaching. Like, people, just sometimes just need a little extra help. And so, we've got some different components there that we offer, but, we've got a high-end coaching program. Russell's in the past, he's had a high-end mastermind program. He's looking to bring that back, and continue to help people who are just, again, we focus a lot of entrepreneurs, small businesses, typically. People, some people have desire to bring a spouse home from work, or they're looking for a side hustle initially, and then that side hustle also now turns into a full-time gig. And it's kind of cool. We recognize, we have an annual conference, Funnel Hacking Live, every year. And it's really kind of cool thing. We recognize all those businesses who've generated $1 million or more using our software. And we're now over 1,000 entrepreneurs who've hit that mark, who have applied and who've received we call it a 2 Comma Club award. And I'm kind of behind me, I've got a 10X award. And then when ClickFunnels hit $10 million, we kind of were doing that. But we've got that award now. We've got what we call a 2C award, which is, again, $100 million or more. And we've got, I don't know how many people have hit that. It's been an amazing journey to see these entrepreneurs who are helping people in health and fitness, or one of our guys in our coaching program, his business is shipping cars around the country, and he just hit $1 million in that business just recently. And it's just really cool to see the impact that, again, you think it's just simple software, but to see like what that's doing now, it's freeing people from maybe jobs they hate, or again, bringing a spouse or loved one home from their jobs, and they're making a huge impact in the lives and the communities that they work around. So it's been pretty amazing.
And there are a lot of amazing products, and it is cool to hear all the different stories. I've suggested to a lot of people, even if you never plan on using ClickFunnels, if you want probably the best marketing course I've ever been through, you've got to go to One Funnel Away. You've got to take that course. And so, I mean, that's just one aspect of something you guys offer that I, I think it's amazing. And, you know, the whole idea around the books that he has as well. In fact, there was two people I suggested this week, get Expert Secrets, because there's so much to learn from it. As you're looking at all those different things, and I guess from your aspect of it, from being on the inside, tell me about some of those experiences. You look at some of those stories, and what have been some of the, because I know a lot of them are public. What are some of the, what's probably the best success story that you can share?
I'd probably say, Brandon and Kaylin Poulin, they were part of Russell's Inner Circle program, but, they launched a business called Lady Boss. I mean, here's Kaylin, who, had been, a little overweight and wasn't feeling good about her life and where she was at, and decided to, get in shape, and she was competing in lifting competitions and whatnot, and they've built this amazing brand where they've helped empower, and not only a brand but a community of folks. They've helped this take people on this weight loss journey, and then they've added supplements, they've added shakes, and a whole bunch of other things that they've added. They've just built an amazing business, and we're fortunate to be a part of, just a little part of their journey. I mean, they did the work. We had the software tool, again, ClickFunnels, but they jumped in there and they worked hard. I mean, I think that's the thing, is it's interesting to see kind of a lot of people that I see Russell attracts. The people come and want to work with Russell and our company. It's, again, I think our community is second to none. I think we've got amazing people. Alex and Leila Hormozy is another couple. They help gym owners. So a lot of times, they're helping gym. A lot of independent gyms. It's tough. It's competitive out there. And how do they make money? And Alex and Leila, create a system, a process of how to help coach gym owners and to helping be able to generate more revenue for their gyms. And I mean, they've just taken off. They have had tremendous success. They have, it's kind of cool. Last year, we actually created a special award for people who give the most, and they call it, they got a two-column club Heart Award, which recognizes people who've given. I think they did $1 million or more to like some after-school program in Los Angeles area. I think who had helped him, who had helped Alex, when he was a kid, be a place of refuge and a place of safety, and so they did something like that. Like that's probably the coolest part about what we get to do is, we've been involved in different charities. Like Operation Underground Railroad has been a great group that we've worked closely with, and that Russell felt, I mean, just a lot of life interaction kind of came and put Russell in place to help those guys. Village Impact is another great group that we work with. They're based out of Canada, and they help build schools in Kenya specifically right now. There's these people who are displaced. The government, they're in areas, and because of war and other issues, they're kind of homeless, and so the government goes and kind of just gets this plot of land and puts these people in the land. Well, a Village Impact, they go and help build schools so that they build a community right there around a school, and the government says if someone can build a school, we'll supply teachers. And so it's just, I mean, really cool partnerships that we've been a part of. That every sales funnel that is launched in ClickFunnels, $1 is given to Village Impact, and again, super grateful to be able to help support them with millions of dollars in for their cause. And again, Operation Underground Railroad, just amazing to be able to see, how, again, we started as a software company, but to see the impact that goes beyond business and beyond, what we're doing there to help people all around the world.
And as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about that impact that, Lady Boss. Yeah, it was more than the software. It was the things that they learned through you guys as well. And I mean, I remember hearing that story. They were on their last dime heading out to, I think it was New Mexico for Christmas with not even enough money to get home, launched the funnel before they left, and everything's history now.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
That's really cool. And I guess that's one of the things I want the listeners to realize is as they look at these things, there's so much to learn from you guys, from the software side of it to, like I said, with One Funnel Away, it's probably the best marketing program I've ever
for $100,
yeah.
For $100. Yeah. 30
Exactly.
days, like hand holding, tech support. It's pretty amazing. I'm grateful I get to help, the coaches and Shane Larson, who helps run the One Funnel Away Challenge. I get to work close with those guys too. And it's pretty amazing. But again, looking at your business as a front end offer, we went from a 5-day lead challenge with Russell teaching people businesses how to generate leads and essentially for free, and then taking to the One Funnel Away Challenge. And then again, we're hoping that we've made a great enough impact that people are like, man, yeah, let's jump in that software and let's get going.
Right. But like I was on a mastermind call last week, and a lady was trying to get some advice on some of the things she was doing, and it was just some of the processes you guys have in place as well. I opened up Funnel Scripts, one of your other programs, and walked her through the perfect webinar outline and how to go through things like that and how to work through a sale and whatnot. I'd be interested in hear, one, if you were there, and tell us about it. But obviously Russell's marketing is exceptional, and he's got a process to it. Tell our audience about being at the Grant Cardone's 10X conference.
Yeah, when he set the record there. That was pretty coll. We hadn't really done anything like that before. And anyways, Russell gets his invitation to speak at the 10X conference, and it was in, I can't remember the year, was that 2018, 2019, and it was in Las Vegas at Mandalay Bay, and they've got that arena right there, and we heard that they had a goal to have like 9,000 people, and we're like, man, that's crazy. Like, we can't even believe that. Like, again, he's spoken in front of audiences, but like never 9,000 people in one room, and the day showed up, and we didn't quite know what to do, but thankfully I was able to be down there for that event and help work that event. We kind of brought, some team members down there, and I remember sitting there in the audience, and I was helping, we had different sales areas, and I was taking order forms, and we had stuff we were giving people when they signed up, and I was in the back areas of the VIP section on the floor, kind of just like center on the stage, but kind of behind. And Russell, I mean, he was just like, he spoke like one of the best presentations by far. And, people recognized that they needed this tool. They needed ClickFunnels based on the experience that Russell was sharing and what we were able to do for small businesses and entrepreneurs, and how, again, you mentioned some of the different programs that we have. And it was just this crazy flood of people. After he finished speaking, people were at, there was like, I think, 4 or 5 different tables in that arena, and people were coming to all the tables, and they were, part of the thing though too is we recognize that, man, like, again, we love having a physical order form, and a lot of the speakers were just going to do something digital, like, just pull up the phone and go to this site and click buy. But we're kind of old school that way. We believe in, like, man, when people get an order form, hand the order form in. And so we asked if we could get permission. We did like 9,000 placement of like these little bags, like, so little kind of string bags that we put an order form in each of the bags. We put a pen. We put like, I think like a mouse pad or something else. And we the night before we brought a team in. We set one of these bags on every chair in the whole arena. So like, it was already set. So when people came, they had this kind of gift from us anyways, but inside the gift was a pen and an order form included. And so when Russell, the call to action, is fill out this order form, take it to one of my tables, whatever, people had it. And it was incredible. And, we were running out of books, and I had books downtown, down where I was at. we started kind of closing booths because Russell was doing like a photo op too. After you're down, if you buy it, jump in line and take a picture. Well, the photo line wrapped around like the kind of the main concourse of the arena. And I felt bad because people speaking after Russell, like there were so many people out there ready to get pictures. Like it was just awkward. And I'm hauling books like from the floor up to one of the other booths when people were trying to get the books that we had brought with them. I mean, it was insane. But yeah, I think he did like 3.9 million or something in like 90 minutes or something, like just freaking insane, Jeff. Like to see that, like, I mean, he was again, he was on, he had a great audience there. I mean, Grant did a great job, obviously people that were there, and Russell just killed it.
That's awesome. And you know what, one of the things with Clickfunnels, if you're listening and thinking, well, I don't own a software company, I don't own an online company. This is the thing they teach you to. They've got the brick and mortar funnels. They can teach you anything you want. If you're a business, there's an opportunity to look at Clickfunnels and use this. So that's really cool. No, I just really appreciate. I've, I guess, taken a step back. When I talked to you a week or so ago about doing this, the reason that I contacted you about this was I was talking to my son that's 18 and talking to him about the importance of the people he meets and the opportunities it's going to create throughout his life and stuff. I guess that's one thing I'd like to hear you talk about. Obviously, you've shared how you met Russell and the influence it's had and the direction that's given in your life, but talk a little bit about, that topic and what you think on it.
Yeah, it's funny, in our church, we kind of have this program where it's, you get to kind of help minister and just, meet people in your congregation. And it happened to be one of those things where I was asked or invited to meet with Russell and his family when we met back in 2004, 2005. And, I definitely have a great, love for that program as a result. I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And so, again, it would be God or some other higher power. I was led to Russell and life changing as a result of that. Right. But I think, I attribute a lot of success sometimes just, being in the right place at the right time, but also, working hard and being a good person. But, I always ask questions of people and find out, when I was even serving my mission for the church too, we had an opportunity to have dinner appointments, and I always made purpose to ask the people, what they did for work, what they loved and what they didn't love about what they did. I thought at one point, I wanted to go into law, and then, hearing from people's perspective, I'm like, man, I don't want to go to law school and have to get out and work, 160 hours a week and do all the grunt stuff like that. But again, I was invited to meet with Russell. Had no idea what he was doing, and just developed a friendship there, and it, again, life changing. But I can attribute that to, man, being the right, really part of being in the right place, right time, and but also, working hard and looking to serve people. I think that my relationship, initially when Russell was first asking me to come and help him with some stuff, I was like, oh no, you're good. Like but it was cool. I just remembered too, as you were talking about that, there was a time when my wife and I just found out we were pregnant with our first kid, and we were going to it was Joe's Crab Shack here in Boise, and we were to kind of celebrate, just to kind of go out on a date, and we'd been waiting out in the foyer for a while, and finally they called our table, and right before they called our table, Russell and Colette, his wife, walked in, and it just happened to walk in at the same time. And so anyway, we were kind of making small talk with them, and then our table got called, and so we left, and we sat down, and we were at a table for 4. It was just the two of us. And so I just said to Amber, I'm like, hey, should we just go see those other guys, want to come eat? And we're like, she's like, yeah, let's do that. So I just ran to the foyer and said, you guys want to come sit with us? Because we got a table for 4. And it's just kind of, again, those little things in life that wasn't planned, wasn't expected. And part of that friendship was just, I just want, we were just friends, and that's how our relationship started. So again, I think it's just, man, just being a friend to somebody, you just never know, never know how you might be able to impact them or they impact you. And just, I think it just goes to, I think that's your community, Jeff, that's how you are. And I think that again, when you're a good person, I feel like, opportunities open up and you're honest with people. And it's kind of funny when you hear Russell tell the story. We were there and we found out we were pregnant and we were excited, but we were like, oh man, like, I don't know if we're ready for this. And unbeknownst to us, they had been really having a hard time getting pregnant. And it was, so you hear Russell, he makes fun of me because I'm like, oh gee, we're expecting a baby. And he was like, inside, they're like both like crying because they're like trying, it wasn't happening for them. But thankfully it did. And actually, our son Carter was born beginning of December, and their twin boys were born just a week later. And so, we've been able to, again, our families are close friends. We usually do a family trip together with them every year. We just got back in spring break. We did, Disney World and Universal Studios, and did, we were on the coast in Florida together for spring break, and we've done Hawaii together, and just been fun to our families, how again this friendship has just impacted our lives. We've really, it's been pretty amazing.
That's awesome. As you're talking about that, so I need you to make a connection for me. So Brent's got a brother that he's actually been on the podcast with me as well, and he's got his own podcast, the Vegas Therapist. Yeah. And he had Colette and Amber on. And that was an awesome podcast to listen to the wives talk about their experience with these two entrepreneurs taking this journey. So yeah, that, as you were talking about that, I remembered that podcast that Ryan had done, and that was really interesting to listen to those two give their perspective on it. So no, it's really cool to hear that. And it's what you can do for other people and who you can spend your time with. It's going to make all the difference in the world. And it's really cool to see, we can probably both attest, coming from small town Raymond, Alberta. You never want to leave Raymond, Alberta, but there's opportunities to get out and do things. And it's really cool to see what you've been able to accomplish and the difference you're making in a lot of lives. And really appreciate everything you're doing. So thanks for being with me today, because this has been really cool catching up with you and talking with you and hearing your story.
You bet. No, I appreciate the invitation. And yeah, we come from good roots. Jeff's dad was with my math teacher in junior high, and his brother Sean is a good buddy of mine too. And yeah, it's it's been fortunate. I feel like lucky every day. I count my blessings, and I think that again, it's been an amazing ride, and excited for the future.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Thanks so much.